This is my review of the Eagles album, Hell Freezes Over. It was released in 1994, produced by the Eagles and a bunch of other people that I just didn't bother writing their names down because I hadn't heard of any of them. But anyway, this is kind of the Eagles' like resumption album, I guess, since they claim that they didn't break up in this. But yeah, I got this in 2019. I just kind of saw it at Walmart when I was walking around, and I was like, I don't have that yet, so I'll pick it up. I listened to it a little bit when I first got it, and it's not something that I go back to a lot, and I don't think that's really going to change from listening to it tonight. It's a live album, but it has 4 new songs on it. I'm not really a huge fan of most of the newer songs on it, and as far as the songs that they picked to play here, like there's a lot of them I like, and some of them that I'm like, So it's not a live album that I want to go to a lot from like the track listing standpoint either. Really, I think the thing that I like the most about this album is they still have Don Felder in the band here. Because after this album they would fire him, and I guess I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But Don Henley's probably going to come smite me. So I watched the History of the Eagles documentary back when it came out, and they went into all that stuff, and I just gotta keep this kind of brief. But basically, I kind of agree with Felder a little bit, I think. I just like Henley and Fry's argument about them being the only guys that had solo careers and so they deserve more money didn't seem to be that great of an argument. I think that it was stronger for Henley to make that argument at least. Like I think he had a bigger solo career than really than any of the other guys. Fry, maybe not so much. I mean, I guess I'm not the biggest expert on his solo career, but I've only heard a few of his songs. So it didn't seem to me like he had a lot of strength to make that claim. And then on top of that, like Joe Walsh was kind of his own thing as a solo artist before he even joined the Eagles, and I know that he kind of had like a rough time during like the 80s and then going into this and stuff, and where he was having problems with substance abuse and things, but like I don't know, he's kind of big in his own right, so I think that like he should have factored into that somehow, and it wasn't just Fry and Henley that should have. But anyway, I don't know, not really my business anyway, but I do kind of take Felder's side a little bit. I think just I don't know the way that they came across in the documentary. Like I don't know if they were trying to make their point in it, but they kind of to me did the opposite. Like they came across as like, oh, these guys are kind of being jerks. Anyway, rambled about that enough. So the first song is "Get Over It." It's a Henley and Fry song, and it's I don't know, it's not my favorite song. It's kind of weird. It's one of the songs that, given what I was just talking about, it seems a little bit hypocritical and stuff, because they have this line about, oh, let's kill all the lawyers, and it's like, well, these are two guys that have like an army of lawyers representing their interests from this huge like musical monstrosity that they've created. So I don't know, just like maybe this wasn't the point in their career to write a song like this. But yeah, it's not a horrible song or anything. I think Henley gives a good vocal. The guitar on it, I think, is the thing that I enjoy the most, which I think most of the stuff that I like is Felder. Second track, "Love Will Keep Us Alive," is a cover, sung by Timothy B. Schmidt. This one's nice. I like Timothy's vocal on it, but it's just not like a song I want to go back to and listen to a lot. I don't know, it's like there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not something that I'm super into. This third track, "The Girl from Yesterday," is sung by Glenn Frey and Jack Tempchin. This is probably my favorite of the new tracks. It's the one that I find the most catchy. It's kind of a more like country rock type thing, or it's well, not even rock, it's more like a country thing almost, but it's probably, I think, the most catchy one. I like Glenn's vocal a lot. It's just really depressing, so I don't listen to this one a lot because I just find it lyrically to be really depressing. And then the fourth track, "Learn to Be Still," by Henley and Stan Lynch. This one, it wasn't bad, but it's just kind of one of those songs that, like, I don't know, it doesn't really stick in my mind. So after the four new songs, then they go into the kind of greatest hits of the album, I guess. There's Tequila Sunrise, Hotel California, which is kind of this different acoustic-y version, which is cool. That's probably the song I've heard the most often from this album, because there was a while where they were playing it a bunch at work. The seventh track, Wasted Time, and that's getting into kind of what I said about not all of these songs I would have picked for a live album. Like, I don't think I would have picked Wasted Time. Then Pretty Maids All in a Row, another one I probably wouldn't have picked, but I guess they gotta have the Joe Walsh song. I Can't Tell You Why, that one I like. New York Minute, a Henley solo song, which I definitely wouldn't have put on there. If you had to do a Henley solo song, I would have done like Boys of Summer. Then The Last Resort, Take It Easy, In the City, so another Joe Walsh, Life in the Fast Lane, Desperado. So I don't know, for me, just not the greatest like track listing live that I think they could have gone for. Like, I get what they were doing with it, I think, but just not songs that I would have picked to hear, and what I want to hear. So it's not an album that I listen to often. Don't think that's really going to change. I mean, it's not a bad album or anything. I think a lot of people would really like this album. For me, it's just, I don't know, the new songs don't really do too much for me. And the one that does kind of depresses me too much, so I don't want to listen to it that often. And just the selection of live tracks that they have on there kind of doesn't do it for me either. So probably not where I'd start with Live Eagles albums, but I don't know, it's not a bad album, just not one that I'm really that into.